All right, shalom. This is the brother Kratazai. Um, I want to do this lesson on pretty much the current events that's happening in the Middle East. With World War III looming over our heads. Everything's getting ratcheted up in that area with China and Russia and the United States. Everything's coming to a head just like the scriptures say that they would. It says in Revelations. Let me see. Revelations 11 and excuse me, slack it. Revelations 9 and 12 says that one woe passed, and behold, there come two woes more after. The first woe is talking about World War One. The two that come after is World War Two, which took place between 1939 and 1945, and the third woe is the Third World War, which is actually going on right now. You know, it hasn't officially started or officially been called World War Three, but if you pay attention to the news, you know it's already on. So I got a couple articles that I wanted to bring out to the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahshai. And first off, I want to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS, and blessings to the elect brothers in this truth. That's doing the work, man, and pushing this agenda. So, first article I want to read. Let me see. Okay, this is from CNN, um, dated on October 12th, 2015. It says U.S. delivers 50 tons of ammunition to Syria rebel group. So, if you're not familiar with what's going on in Syria, it's a civil war. It's a so-called civil war between the president Bashar al-Assad and the different rebel groups and ISIS that's trying to take over Syria. So the U.S. is trying to help these groups just like they do in every other country, just like they did in Libya, just like they did in Egypt, and so on and so forth. That's what they do. They take down the standing government. They put their little proxy in or they puppet so that they can control them. That's what they're trying to do with Bashar al-Assad and in Syria. So I'm going to start this article. It says U.S. military cargo planes gave 50 tons of ammunition to rebel groups overnight in northern Syria, using an airdrop of 112 pallets as the first step in the Obama administration's urgent effort to find new ways to support these groups. So they're saying that they're supporting the groups against Assad. Says details of their air mission over Syria were confirmed by U.S. official not authorized to speak publicly because the details have not been formally announced. Says C-17s, accompanied by fighter escort aircraft, uh, dropped the small arms, ammunition, and other items like hand grenades in Hasaka province of northern Syria to a coalition of rebel groups vetted by U.S. known as the Syrian Arab uh, it's like a coalition. All pallets successfully all pallets successfully were recovered by friendly forces, a U.S. official said. So basically, it just gave them weapons. So if you wonder, how these rebel groups, come with RPGs and all kind of military style weapons. The U.S. is giving them weapons. They just came out even on CNN, which is bullshit. Even CNN reported it. Originally, I seen the article on RT, but I couldn't find the article. So this is suffice. It's pretty much saying the same thing. So that proves right there that they're giving weapons to these groups in Syria. Give me a moment here so I can pull up this other one. Um, Salakia brothers. Here we go. because ISIS is one of the main groups that's trying to take over Syria. If you know what ISIS stands for, it's supposed to stand for um uh um um well, the S is for Syria. The second S, or excuse me, Slovakia. The first S is for Syria. The second I or yeah the second the first S is for Syria. The second I is for Iraq because they're trying to take over those two areas. Um, or they call it ISIL. Basically the Levant, which the Levant is that whole Middle Eastern area between Syria and Iraq. So, and America set up ISIS. That's their group that they got to go in there. This is from RT on October 15th. It says ISIS retreating in Syria, missile systems destroyed, 33 targets hit Russian military. So Russia's in there fucking ISIS up. And the US set up ISIS to take down Assad. So that's World War III happening right now. That's the Russian troops shooting down American proxies, American forces. Even though America tell you that they're against ISIS and they're in the war with ISIS, they set up ISIS just like they set up Al Qaeda and all those other groups. So I'm getting to the article. It says Russian warplanes have destroyed a surface-to-air missile launcher here it goes right here. The Islamic State. Uh, yeah. So that's what it stands for. Slovakia, the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. That's what it stands for. Slovakia. Um, the Islamic State terrorist group previously captured from the Syrian army. The Russian Defense Ministry reports the bombing campaign in Syria is forcing jihadists to flee. So they got them on the run. They basically got American forces on the run. The 9K-33 OSA short-range air defense launcher was destroyed by a Sukhoi Su-34 bomber in eastern Dumaka near Damascus. Ministry spokesman Igor Koncheskov told the media in his Thursday daily briefing. Says the Su-34 dropped a precision anti-fortification bomb KAB-500 at a concrete shelter where the launcher was hidden, destroying both the weapon and the building, he added. OSA, which is being called Gecko by NATO, is a highly mobile launcher equipped with 6 short-range surface-to-air missiles meant to provide tactical cover from enemy aircraft to ground troops. Says the launcher was destroyed during one of 33 combat missions that Russia conducted in Syria over a day. A total of 32 targets in the provinces of Al-Dab, Hama, Damascus, Aleppo, and Deir ez-Zor were hit, Konov said. The general added that the terrorist forces appeared to be abandoning their position and pulling back. So they're running. America trained these forces to go take over Syria. Russia came in, hit them with them big boy bombs, and now they're running shaking scared. So that's going to get me to this last article that I wanted to bring, this is the main article. That I actually had the first two articles first, and then Yahabashim Al-Shai led me to get this article. This is from ValueWalk.com from October 12th of 2015. It says World War III could be just seconds away, warn experts. Several military experts have warned in the last few weeks that Russia was hell-bent to trigger a major conflict in Syria that could escalate into World War III. What I just said with the first two articles is matching up. The airspace above Syria has become increasingly crowded as Russian and Western fighter jets are flying all over the country, according to the Mirror According to the Mirror, Russia claims to have carried out 55 airstrikes against ISIS targets, which the U.S.-led coalition carried out 24 attacks on ISIS on Saturday, which is bullshit. They 9 times out of 10 they carried out missions against Assad, but they have to tell um the American people that they're trying to get ISIS because they set up ISIS to be the new boogeyman. Says the Syrian airspace has become increasingly crowded. However, anti-Assad groups, remember we just said that they gave anti-Assad groups 50 tons worth of weapons. Anti-Assad groups trained by CIA reported that Russian airstrikes have targeted rebels that are fighting to oust President Bashar al-Assad from power. So America is giving these guys weapons, and Russia's dropping bombs on them. That's war right there. That's World War III on the cusp right there. I'm gonna go even further. It says, citing an unnamed military expert, the Daily Record says that we could be less than 30 seconds from World War III. Fighter jets, drones, attack helicopters, missiles, and artillery from different countries with different military presence in Syria are increasingly likely to crash into the congested Syrian airspace. So you got the Americans flying over this way, you got the Russians flying this way, the Chinese flying this way. They bound to run into each other, and if they run into each other and somebody happens to accidentally shoot, then bam, you got all-out war right then and there. One terrifying incident: a U.S. F-16 fighter came within 20 miles of a Russian Sukhoi 34 warplane in Syria, says Lieutenant General Charles Brown, commander of the U.S. air campaign in Syria. Given their speeds of travel, it would have taken two warplanes less than 30 seconds to collide. One military expert compared the situation in Syria to getting your mind around a Rubik's Cube moving at 1,500 kilometers per hour. So it says, U.S. may lose if there's a World War III. At any moment, a military plane could be shot down in a catastrophic misunderstanding of intent. Like I said, with all the different countries in that one small military space, or that one small country within that one small airspace. It says many American fighter planes had to move away from their intended targets to avoid Russian jets. It sounds like they're running, just like in the previous article. They're getting back. They're retreating. They can't do what they want to do now because Russia's there. China has further complicated the situation by stationing its aircraft carrier Liaoning off the coast of Syria, from where it may carry out airstrikes. Military experts have warned on several occasions that Russia and China would easily crush the United States if there's a World War III. Why? Because the military, the sheer numbers of the Chinese military and the toughness of the Russian military, man, them U.S. troops ain't ready. They ain't ready because they not half as tough and they not half as deep. So you're gonna lose. And Russia has better technology than the United States, and it's nothing to give it to their partner in war. Your enemy is my best friend, and Russia's enemy is the United States. The United States' enemy is China, and they just happen to be best friends. Russia's objective in Syria are very different from that of the U.S.-led coalition. Western countries are working to oust Bashar al-Assad and establish a liberal democracy in Syria, but Russia is determined to maintain a pro-Russian regime in Syria. Meanwhile, experts fear that China can use airstrikes in ISIS as cover to support Russia in targeting U.S. trained rebels. So that's it right there. It just said it. I'll read it one more time. Russia's objectives in Syria are very different from that of the U.S.-led coalition. Western countries, NATO and the EU, United States, are working to oust Bashar al-Assad, the president of Syria, and establish a liberal democracy in America, which is the cup that the world is drunken off of, which is that democracy. They push that, but Russia is determined to maintain a pro-Russian regime in Syria. So they fighting to keep Syria up and keep Bashar al-Assad up. That's two opposing forces right there. That's America and Russia and China. Because it says experts fear that China can use airstrikes in ISIS as cover to support Russia and target U.S. rebels. So I mean, there you have it. World War III is among us. It's already started. So I mean, if you niggas want to, be sleep, you can be sleep. Okay, this thing is real. This thing is happening right now before our eyes. We in the beginning stages, and it's only, like I said, it could be 30 seconds away. All it takes is one plane getting shot down to start, ICBMs to going everywhere. And with that said, I want to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders, GMS, bless the elect, and Shalom, you brother, stay up.